mobilize your hips to lengthen your hamstrings and calves, okay, for deadlifting. For me, and what I see when I have to fix people once they're hurt is the #1 place that you can work on mobilization to improve your deadlift is your calves, okay? When the calves cannot fully lengthen to get to the ground, your back is gonna round, okay? Because your calves are pulling you so far back. So like I said, when we're training dynamic functional mobility, we're gonna make it harder and harder. We're trying to sort of overstimulate the system. So he's gonna put the band on up and around his shoulders. He's strong to do that. I'm not that strong, so I have to squat to the ground, put it over one side, put it over the other side. Stand up. And then, hold on, all right, so we're gonna use plates. Everyone's gonna use plates for this because we're gonna really bias that the length is happening in your calves. So his toes are gonna be up on this. That probably feels good too, this is brand new.
Yeah.
So why are we using the band? The band is pulling you into the wrong position. So if he completely relaxes and doesn't let the band work, right? Wrong movement pattern. So we're activating that pillar system. His shoulder blades are working to keep the upper part back. You should be feeling his abdominals and hips working to keep the upper part. So the band doesn't change its tension. Then he's going to soften his knees off, and he's going to just try to get into a good morning position, which means chest parallel to the ground. As he comes down, the movement is loading the hips, is feeling the hips go back. You can see he is in more of a bend. You guys think that he's bending his knee. He's not really, it's just because of how his toes are elevated. So his knee and his ankle are still directly over one another, okay? A lot of you guys though, because you don't want to stretch and lengthen your hamstrings and hips so much, might squat. With females, the biggest thing I see is that females keep their weight forward and they do everything through their backs and they never load the hips. It's just sort of a thing. When you stand up through your hips. So you pull up strong, lift the hips and pull in, just like you want to when you lift. Okay? So it's back and forth there. Loading the hips back. For some of you that really can feel a good stretch, when you get here, you can load the hamstrings even more, meaning try to straighten out a little bit. And then he can also shift his center and just don't move his chest, but he's going to shift everything a little bit forward over his toes without his chest dropping. Okay? Really pulling in deep into the abdominals and use your breathing. I'll have people just hold this position and breathe, trying to tighten through that midsection. So inhaling and exhaling into those deep abdominals, you'll feel that you can get more length in your hips and hammies. Can you feel that? Mm-hmm.